You saw the thumbnail of this video with the Kia EV6 being the best EV, and you're probably wondering, I thought red light district was your favorite. And if the EV6 was so good, why did you sell it? What's up YouTubers, it's your girl Shannon from EV and Chill, and in today's video I'm going to discuss with you my final thoughts on the Kia EV6 and why I think it's the best EV on the market. So we bought our EV6 in March and then we sold it at the end of July, and it was this beautiful gravity blue color on the exterior, and the interior was this really cool like two-tone gray color. Although technically it was only the blue color for about 100 miles on the exterior, and then we decided to wrap it in this gorgeous like satin green wrap. And the EV6, it was also the wind trim level with the tech package, all-wheel drive, and we drove it for about 6,200 miles before we decided to part ways with it. And we bought it at MSRP about $54,000, and it had an EPA range of 274 miles. So what do I think about it now that it's gone? Honestly, I think the EV6 is the best value out there, plain and simple. Now, I know some of you might be freaking out because you know that red light district is like my favorite EV of all time. That's the Model Y performance we're in right now. And I have to say, hands down, RLD is still my favorite. However, when I think of value, you can't beat the EV6. Now, when I say the EV6, I'm also going to include the Ioniq 5 in there because, well, they're like the same car. I mean, if you think about it, the two vehicles, they share the same platform, same operating system, same battery tech, same charging, and both of them can be bought for under $60K. They just look a little bit different. But let me back up here and let's talk about the Kia EV6 for a hot second. Because y'all, the fact that, first of all, the fact that we even bought a Kia, like, blows my mind. Never in my life did I think my husband and I would ever own a Kia. It was just never on our to-do list of cars, like, ever. And secondly, and perhaps most importantly, never did I ever think we would spend over 50 G's on a Kia. People, that is a lot of De Niro, and spending it on a Kia, as Gwen Stefani would say, that is B-A-N-A-N-A-S. That was just bonkers to me. However, we did it, and I love the EV6. I gotta say it. Okay, now you might be wondering, does that change my perception of Kia as a brand? And I do want to give some props to Kia because I think they've done a lot to kind of like change that view that people have had of them for so long. That being said, I'm just gonna spit truth to you. It doesn't really change my view of Kia as a brand overall. I mean, it changes my view on the EV6. I think that's a great vehicle, but I don't think I'm necessarily going to line up to buy more Kias in the future. But now, at this point, I'm on my 6th EV. I mean, if you've been with our channel from the beginning, you'll remember that we had the Tesla Model 3, we've got the Tesla Model Y Performance, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the BMW i4, and of course the Kia EV6. And I have to say, out of all of those, and even test driving other EVs, I think the value that the EV6 brings to the table cannot be beat. The EV6 was a great family vehicle, and there was so much space in that stuff. Y'all, we could load it down, and we did load it down, and it was able to carry a lot. It was also a really comfortable ride, and it was sporty. Okay, it was sporty on the outside, and you might remember me saying this in like my first impression video of the EV6. It was totally sporty on the outside, but the ride was not sporty. It didn't drive sporty at all, even in sport mode. It didn't. But it really made for an excellent ride for all of the passengers. So I really like that. Again, great travel vehicle. And charging was actually really fast. I routinely saw the EV6 charge above 200 kilowatts at Electrify America stations, which is pretty impressive. Okay, now pause here because I know charging infrastructure is basically like a conversation in itself when you're comparing like Teslas versus non-Teslas. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to talk about the EV6 itself as a vehicle. We'll kind of exclude like most of the charging stuff. Because honestly, people, like, and I know Electrify America, I know they've come a long way even in the past year, but people, third-party charging still have to get their together. It is not fully there yet. It is still pretty unreliable and not really dependable. We actually experienced that firsthand the other weekend when we were driving in the BMW i4. I will not elaborate on it, but it was not a seamless charging experience. So third-party charging still has a long way to go. So for that fact alone, if I were to have to go cross-country for any reason, and we still had the EV6, or even in my BMW i4, as great as those vehicles are, as much as I love the EV6, if I'm going cross-country, I am taking the Tesla Model Y, hands down, simply because I find it to be more dependable, more reliable, the charging infrastructure is just there, and I've never had to worry about it before. Now, all that being said, that's not a dig on the EV6 itself, that's more of a dig on like third-party charging. Okay, so back to the EV6 being such a great vehicle is really cool because it has an 800 volt charging capability. So the EV6 can charge surprisingly fast and it's surprisingly efficient too. And some of y'all might remember that we moved recently, and when we moved in the Tesla Model Y that we're in and the EV6. And y'all, we had these mothers so loaded down. There was so much junk in the trunk that you could not see out the rear window. You could not even see out right here, this like passenger's window right here. Oh, and take a look, there's J3. Say what's up, dude. You say hi? He says hi. Yeah, we had these mothers so loaded down, you could not even see out this one little space. So actually a really great thing about the Kia EV6 is because since we opted for the tech package, when we would turn our turn signal on, the camera that was on the side mirror would show us on the driver's display what was next to us. That made it super helpful when we were changing lanes. So if you are considering getting the EV6, definitely opt for the tech package. That alone made it worth it. Okay, but going back to like efficiency here, because these vehicles, because they were so loaded down, I thought we weren't gonna get like that great of mileage, but even traveling with these suckers so full, the EV6 was still averaging 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour. And that was really common. It was common for it to like supersede what it was recommended to get. I mean, that's above what the EPA estimates, and that's really, really cool. And now while we talk, my co-host here is gonna do some racing here. How's he doing? Last place, yikes, we'll work on it. Okay, but when I look at how expensive EVs are today, and knowing that you can get one of the fastest charging EVs on the road, that's dependable, it's a smooth ride, it can hold a lot of stuff, it can travel far on a full charge, it's pretty quick, and you can get all of that for under $60,000, that's literally the best EV value in my opinion. And again, I include the Ioniq 5 in that too. That's literally like just something you can't beat. I mean, even Floyd Mayweather can't beat that pricing. But y'all, I still love my Model Y performance. That's why when we were buying it, I spec'd it out with my complete wish list. Even the stealth PPF, like y'all, this thing looks sick. That looks amazing. Now, all that being said, it was still north of 70 G's, and that's a lot of money. I do get a lot for that money. I mean, I'm beating Hellcats, Corvettes, and M4s off the line with my family in tow and groceries in the back. But at the same time, that is a significant price increase. Now you could argue like the Model Y long range might be a little bit more competitive, but even that, it's still more than 60 grand. That's why I think the EV6 is the best vehicle out there for your money. I think it appeals to the masses, but at the same time, it's able to back itself up with its positive and successful results. So at this point, some of you might even be wondering, well, if the EV6 was so good, why did you sell it in 5 months? And here's the deal, people. That's just kind of how we live our life. Honestly, even when we had gas vehicles, we just changed them out really often. It works for us. And then when we started YouTube, when we transitioned over to electric vehicles, it was still the same concept. We're still like constantly changing out vehicles. Just instead of gasoline engines, we just have electric motors and bigger batteries. That's something that just works for our life. Now that being said, we did trade in the Kia EV6 for the BMW i4, and we are loving that ride. Y'all, that thing is sweet, but much too small for a family car. If you're like a bachelor living a single life, or if it's just like 2 of you, like you would enjoy that vehicle. However, if you got one of these, there's just not enough room. So when we sold the EV6 for the BMW i4, we knew we weren't gonna have it for a very long time because our Rivian is expected to be delivered in October or November, so cross your fingers, it comes in really soon. We're super excited about that. And also, I think we had to sell the EV6 because the market has been so hot lately for used cars. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's as hot as my husband is in a Speedo on the beach, because y'all, that is fire. Woo. So not that hot, but still, it has been ridiculous with the appraisal prices people have been getting for their used cars. So we wanted to take full advantage of that, and I think we did. I mean, again, we bought the EV6 for just under 54 grand. We were able to trade it in with 6,200 miles on it for 54 grand. So for me, I think that's a great deal. We traded it in, got the BMW, we took advantage of the market right as it's like just starting to cool off. So for me, I'd say mission accomplished. So there you have it. Those are my final thoughts on the Kia EV6. I highly recommend that vehicle. And if you have a Kia EV6, drop it in the comments. I would love to know why you purchased that vehicle over any other vehicle. Maybe we're thinking a lot alike. Also, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. And also, if you've already subscribed, do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. It helps get the video out to more people. Well, that's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.